Hi, welcome to J Ray Barbecue. I'm Jason. Today we've got these two pork shoulders right here. We are getting ready for our event tomorrow at Ace Hardware in Aurora, Ohio. And we are going to be cooking on a Traeger today. We're not using the offset, the Oklahoma Joe. We're using a Traeger Ironwood 885. So let's get the smoker rolling. So from what I've been told, these things are really easy to use. I've used it once already. I did some biscuits on it just to see how the heat was distributed throughout all the grates and stuff. And from what I can tell from that cook, it cooks fairly evenly across the whole entire rack, that bottom rack, which is awesome. This one is fairly easy to use. You can see you can turn it on right here. It'll light up with this screen and basically just tells you to choose your temperature. We're going to start out at 225, and then you'll see it. You have to push the ignite button. It tells you what to do. And once you hit that, it'll start the fan, and it's going to start igniting these pellets here. I'm gonna put some more in. We're using the hickory pellets today. For the two pork butts, I don't know how many or how much hickory it's gonna use, but I've got 2 bags worth, so we'll see what happens. Let's let it warm up here, and then we'll prep the pork butts and get ready for the smoke. Okay, so let's unpackage these pork butts here and start prepping them. Let's see here. Right now we've got the Traeger over there warming up, and man, it is putting off a decent amount of smoke here. All right, got one unpackaged here. I'm gonna pat these dry with some paper towels. And as you can see, I'm back in the backyard again because I mean, it was 60 degrees this morning. Right now I think it's probably 68, so no reason in the world not to be out here doing everything. I'll save the kitchen work for the winter time when I pretty much have to be inside. Yeah. And today we're going to be using the Meat Church Honey Hog BBQ seasoning. This is my first time using this one on pork shoulder, so I'm hoping it is as good as advertised. So we're going to season all sides of this like pretty well. And you'll notice I did not put a binder on here. I don't feel like it's necessary. This thing was it was pretty wet anyway, so I did dry it off, but it's not totally dry, and it's going to create enough, it's going to sweat out enough with this seasoning on there that I don't think it needs a binder. So, and these are bone-in pork butts. You can tell right here, this is your temperature probe, built-in temp probe. I did not trim these down at all either, so and just for me being completely honest and upfront, Ace Hardware of Aurora provided these. They also gave me the Traeger to use this weekend for the cook, so we'll see if I like cooking on it. Maybe we'll get one. but let's see how it goes. We're gonna start this cook off at about 225, and I'm gonna hit that super smoke and see what that's all about. All right, this one is good. I'm gonna hit it a little more here. Let's get this one. All right, let's let those set for a little bit. All right, unbelievably enough, it has literally only been like 8 minutes since I started this thing up, and it is already up to temp. And it seems to be holding temp. It's held at the same temperature, 226, 227, for right at about 2 minutes now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these pork shoulders on, and we're gonna start to cook now. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this super smoke button. Super smoke on. All right, I can see some more smoke coming out, so that's a good sign. All right, here we go. Now what I found when I did my temp test with the biscuits was this area over here, unlike the offset, which that area is really hot, on this one it's not. It's a little cooler, so it's okay though. It was still close. So I'm gonna leave that to super smoke, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, it's been 2.5 hours. Let's give it a look and see how it's looking. All right, it's starting to get a little color. I've had it on super smoke for this entire time. I'm gonna leave it on super smoke probably until maybe halfway through the cook. I want to see us get a nice bark on the outside, a nice dark bark, and that's not yet developed, so we're gonna keep it there. I may dial up the temperature to 250 because I think it's taking on a pretty decent amount of smoke already. So I'm gonna turn it up to 250, which means that the super smoke feature will automatically turn off. All right, it's been 5 hours on this on these pork shoulders, and man, they're looking good. All right, I'm gonna insert this probe into the pork shoulders so I can start monitoring the inside temp. So yeah, that's all right. Yep, it's working. I'm gonna go away from the bone. Let's try to go all the way to the center. It's not tender at all, so, and it's now been about 5.5 hours. All right, I just pulled these pork shoulders off here, and we're gonna give it the temp probe test. There we go. Bone came right out. So I'm gonna start by pulling this one. You basically can just get your hands in there. Look at that. Most of the fat is all rendered down. And that just that muscle just pulls right apart. That's one that's pulled. All right, as a wrap up to this video, I lost a bunch of about 2 hours worth of footage that I shot at our event on Saturday at Ace Hardware. So first of all, I want to take a minute to thank Jason and Shanna for at Ace Hardware of Aurora for having us out there and using their Traeger for this cook. The overall usage of the Traeger is simple. Like, it's basically a set it and forget it type deal, unless it's something that the food needs to be maintained and moved around. Otherwise, everything is pretty self-explanatory on that Ironwood 885, and I would definitely purchase one. My only gripe about them is that even in super smoke, they don't put off enough smoke to get that really good smoky flavor. So I would still use my offset for some things like that, or find other ways to compensate for the lack of smoke that you get with it. I also would love to see Traeger do the super smoke up to 250 degrees. Just because I'd like to get more smoke before the bark sets, and at 225 you just some cooks, it just takes too long for the meat to get a good bark at 225. So I love the Traeger. I would use it again. I love the insulation that was built in on that one, because when it gets cold here, it's going to be hard to maintain the temperatures. Again, it's really simple to use, but those pork shoulders were done 12.5 hours, and they look done. They look great. They pulled well. So everything about the cook went well. That was my only gripe. It looks like we're gonna do some more events with Ace Hardware in the future, so I'm gonna make sure to get my video equipment right and make sure that I've got enough storage and everything on them to be able to get the videos for longer periods of time while I'm there. But anyway, this was an awesome experience, and I look forward to doing it more in the future. Check out our other videos. I'm gonna post some right here for you guys to check out, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, and hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.